the measles hasn't been managed, and the larynx is complicated, the gas exchange has been disturbed, as such, pneumonia might arise. That's number one complication. Number two complication is encephalitis. Encephalitis, in medical term, that's the inflammation of the brain. The brain, why does it inflame? Because there is little amount of oxygen being circulated to or being transported to the brain. We expect what we call hypoxia, whereby oxygen has been reduced. In so doing, we expect what we call scarring of the brain. So that brain, if it has been scarred, it will inflammate as a response from the nature. As such, that's one of the conditions whereby pneumonia, if not well managed, it will end up having those kind of complications. Number three complication is bronchiolitis. Bronchiolitis has inflammation of bronchioles, and the bronchioles are in the liver. There is in lung rather, not in the liver, but in the lungs. So when the bronchioles have been inflamed, we call it bronchiolitis. Why inflammation? Because the pharynx is not able to produce or has been inflamed. Circulation or gases exchange is completely disturbed. In this case, we expect the bronchioles not to receive enough oxygen for their functionality. As such, to end up inflaming, resulting into nothing but this condition.
Right.
Number four is eye infection. Ear infection can come because, as I said, these things, measles attacks the lungs. When you see the lung proximity of the ear, they are very close. We call them ear, nose, and throat. Throat, we are talking about the pharynx. These are so proximal organs. In so doing, if the pharynx has been affected, the chances that the ear to be affected is very high. As such, this infection can be otitis media. Otitis media is a condition whereby you liberate pus from the three bones of the ear, the alveolar, hammer, and stirrup. That's the elementary school of it. Okay. And the last complication is death. Death, how we already put it on that. Death is 1 to 3 per 1,000 cases. As I put it already in the epidemiological survey by WHO. However, death depends on the severity of the pandemic or endemicity of it. That's what we can talk about, the complication of the measles.
All right. Now, is this condition preventable? How can someone prevent this disease?
Prevention is better than a cure. That's what we always preach in medical ideologies as far as disease is concerned. The first thing to prevent measles is to do vaccination. When a baby has been born, he or she receives a lot of vaccines. But when he reaches at the age of 8 months up to 12 months, this kid must be given the dose for measles, and that dose must be well given by the specialized individual. Otherwise, it might not be efficient enough, whereby all the right doses, the right position, and the right quantity must be given. After that, the baby is need to again to be given another dose from 12 up to 24 months. Then, anything that arisen as endemic condition or as a pandemic, the measles can be given again as the booster dose. That's the first prevention of measles. The second prevention, as I said, that this one does not need to be in congested areas. So we need to isolate all infected individuals that are suspects or confirmed cases of measles to be on separation. We need to put them on segregated area. Probably segregated should be an awkward language. We put them in at isolation room.
Okay, yes.
Yes. And I know during that time we used to undress all individuals and put them on the mat made by the banana trees. That's how measles was being prevented during ancient time. However, this time around things have been changed. We just isolate them in their specific rooms, and when you go there, make sure that all prevention activities are being followed, whereby you put on the gloves, you put on the mask, and you put on all necessary things that will prevent you from catching the infection, considering that this infection is airborne infection and is caused by viruses. That's the second one. The third one is improve hygiene. Hygiene is one of the soul to the success in as far as health is concerned. Wash your hands, make sure that you are clean, make sure that you follow all the protocols as far as hygiene is concerned. Another prevention method is to avoid close contact. Close contact shall entail the following areas. In the prison, we don't need to put the prisoners so more close. If there is someone else who has got measles there, and we put them in a so huge place like that, we expect nothing but the eruption of this contagious infection. Number 2, in police cells. Number 3, even in schools, as well as where we do celebrate, like the beer halls, like in the maternal ceremonies, those kind of areas, we are likely to have those kind of things because we don't need to be contact. If someone else there has got a measles, likely the chances are very high that you can easily catch it. So those are prevention measures. These are the measures that are always being followed and need to be observed as far as measles is concerned.
As we are going to an end of our program today, listeners, we were discussing measles as a medical condition. Mr. Josam, is this disease treatable? Is there any treatment for this disease, measles?
What I can say on this kind of conditions, every viral infection has got no medication. That's what the medical practitioner discovered as far as scientific, logical things are concerned. However, what we do on treatment is nothing but the clinical presentation of the patient as well as supportive care. So, number 1 treatment is supportive care. How are we supporting our patient? Patient must have enough rest, because rest will help to regenerate other cells, which will help us in the formation of epithelial cells in whichever place they have been degenerated. In so doing, we expect nothing but boosting of the immunity. And again, this patient, they always have some dehydration, and they have got dehydration conditions because of the papulas or lesions that they exhibit on their skin. Those papulas, they dehydrate this patient. So what we need is to check dehydration sign. From there, then we rehydrate them. So their hydration must be very well balanced. Why balanced? We need those all sorts that they are necessary in the body for the boosting of immunity, as well as the other important processes to be in equilibrium manner, like zinc, sodium, potassium, as well as other micronutrients elements. They should be well balanced. That's what we can call on supportive care. Number 2 treatment is antiviral medication. This medication is what we call riboflavin. Riboflavin is a vitamin B12 complex, which will help to boost immunity. Immunity, we want to make sure that the combating areas must be well balanced. How? The entourage of the viral as well as the immunity fighting against the virus must be on the same pace, whereby we expect the regeneration of devastated or the generated epithelial cells, especially on the affected area. In this case, we are talking of the lungs, specifically the larynx. And in addition to that, these patients, as I said already in their clinical presentation, they might exhibit with other symptoms like cough, fever, pneumonia, bronchitis, those kind of things. So we cannot be managing measles without managing the clinical presentation or the complication, as we put it already in the previous presentation. So we need to give them antibiotics. Antibiotics for what? Secondary infection. Secondary infection is what I've already put it there. The likes of pneumonia, bronchitis. So antibiotic will depend on the outcome of the laboratory results. Because the laboratory results, again, will play a very big role in this kind of prescription of antibiotics. Because in medical thing, we don't just prescribe antibiotic without basing which one we want to kill. Because this is a viral infection. Viral infection does not be killed because of antibiotics. You might be prescribing antibiotics, but without being efficient enough to the measles. For sure, it won't be efficient. But we prescribe it because we want to deal with the secondary or the complication behind measles. So it will depend on the complication that we encounter. If it is pneumonia, we prescribe it according to pneumonia prescription as far as Malawi prescription drug and the pharmacy body position of Malawi is concerned. If it is bronchitis, the first to be follows and all other things. So there are some antibiotics, for example. Amoxicillin can be prescribed where the patient has got persistent cough. Ciprofloxacin, where there is a persistent of fever. Where we have got bronchitis or pneumonia, we can prescribe. Lately, previously we are using cotrimoxazole, locally called Bactrim. But that's when we call cotrimoxazole, that was being prescribed. Fluoxetine, tobramycin, those kind of things, they'll be used to be prescribed. But the prescription of antibiotics, it will depend on the clinical presentation of the patient. In general, that's what I can say about the treatment of pneumonia. Not pneumonia, but measles. But pneumonia is one of the complications of measles. That's what I can say about the measles as a disease. However, this measles, we need to be very careful of it because epidemiologically, this measles is a very dangerous and it's a contagious one and can cause a very havoc in as far as epidemiological issues is concerned. Sure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph, for coming here and give us some facts about measles. Our listeners, I hope we've grabbed something on measles, how we can prevent this disease, how it's spread. So let's be very careful out there. Till we meet again in the next episode, whereby we'll be discussing another medical condition. You were with me, Livness Mtyoka, the editor and the producer of this program. Till next time, bye.